Hi guys, this is part 4. There will be a part 5 and it should be out right about now of the Atari Adventure series. Most of the stuff gets done in this video, which leaves us to sort of clean up in the next video. But in this one we fix the chalice, we get the end game for when you pick up the chalice and take it back to the main room, and we also get the dragon chasing you, so which is shown up there. So all of this happens after the fade. But before we get started, I should point out that I did some work in between the third video and the fourth video, and so we're going to see some of those clips right now. So I ran into this problem when I was debugging, literally ran into this problem, and I'll show you what I mean. If I play the game, and I've got the maze mostly running, which is what I was going to do off camera, but if I go into here, as soon as I go up, I end up on a brick wall. Now, the problem is I don't offhand know the value of each of these. So what I'm going to do is I have, you can see that here, I have a map with all the, yeah, up there. And that's what I'm working on. The shapes aren't exactly like that, but they're as near as damn it. But unfortunately, they're not quite lining up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a debug camera to this. So first things first, I'm going to create a UI, and I'm going to add Text Mesh Pro. Then I'm going to import all these things, and I'll put this up in the new video that goes up, or I'll tag it for the release when I do this in the new video. And then we can close that, and then our canvas, which is going to be huge. I'm going to put it into screen space camera, and then scale with screen size, and then it's going to be 800 by 450, I think it is, and we'll make that 0.5. Actually, it's world space anyway. Don't. Yeah, I want to scale this all the way right down. It takes a bit of time to do this. Really do get a bit of a workout. Let me zoom out a bit. There we go. Okay, and then we can bring this one in just a little bit further, and then we can zoom in so we can get a good idea of it. So the original white, the kind of grey white line there, that is where the bounds of the screen are. So if I bring that in just a little bit to here, that should give me the title safe area. And if I go to the text here, I'll just call this screen ID, which is probably away someplace else. Yeah, it's way over here. And I'm going to drag that up to there. And let me bring that in there. And then the text for this is going to be huge. There we go. Bring that down. And I can pop that in here. So now the game's going to have that there. So I'm going to bring this down to maybe 2. It's probably a good size. And I will bring this into here. And that there. Okay. And I'm going to change the font for this. So I actually have a font in mind. So I'm going to show that in Explorer. Go to Art, and I'm going to create a new folder, call it Font. And then the folder I have over here is this one here. And now if I go into Art, I can create my, I can click on Font, and then I can go to Window, Text Mesh Pro, where is it? font asset creator, that's the word I'm looking for. And then the font I want this one here. And I'm going to click on generate that, and then I'm going to save it. And I'm going to save it to the font there. And that's that done. And then I can select this font here. I can just click on the little thing there and Simtex thing there. And lastly, I'm going to change the color of this to be black because that fits in nicer with the screen there. So this is just going to be the debug mode. So now what I want to do is I'm going to create a script. Scripts. Actually, I changed this to. Let me bring that to there. Scripts, and I'm going to create a folder here called debug. And then inside debug, I'm going to create a script called screen ID. And screen ID, I'm going to drop on that text onto there. So I'm just going to drop it onto there. Okay. So there's a screen ID script on there. So if I double click screen ID, come on, where are you? Here we go. Okay, so game controller. So I'm going to have a public event handler. Oops. Handler, and event handler is just a generic C# class, and this is going to be room changed, and then inside change room, right at the bottom here, I'm going to say that dot invoke this event args empty. Okay, and then here I'm going to have public game controller, and this is going to be awake. Private text mesh pro text mesh pro GUI text text equals get component tmp pro text mesh pro GUI, and then game controller dot, and then it's going to be room changed plus equals OE text dot text equals room ID game controller. I was going upstairs. Current room. Do I not have current room exposed? Oh, that's not good. Room index. Oh, is it room index? Okay. So let me go up to here and let's create a property called room index. Public int room index. Room index. So that should create a getter for this here, and then I can just do room index and set that to there, set that to there, and then say text equals, oops, actually let's just set the text to be blank just now. So we'll go back to our screen ID. I'm going to set that to blank so we don't confuse it with anything else. And then inside the inside this here, we just drag and drop that text to there. And now, when we run the game, if we got everything right, there we go. We've got room ID 0. So now we need to bring this Z order up a little bit on the canvas. So if we go to the ordering layer, let's make that 1000. So that means that it'll be displayed in front of everything. Okay, so it's room ID 0. So we go down to here, then we go to 3, 2, then we're in 5, now we're in 6. So now we're going from 6, which is, I don't know if you can see that, but that's the middle one, that one right there. So we're from 6 to 7. So the next one should be 7, and it is 7. So we're missing one here as well. So we need to fix 7 so that it's not going to block us there. So that's it. That's what I'm going to do to debug that. I'm going to redo the room ID 7, and then we'll look back and we'll have this fixed. All right, that's that fixed, I hope. So we go 3, 2, 5, and this one here. There we go. Down to 6. Screwed that one up as well, so 6 doesn't fit into there. I really should have laid these out all in. Maybe I'm going to do that, is lay these out and see where they are. Because that, well, this should definitely, yeah, that goes to there. But this one doesn't match up. So 6. 6 is that one, and it should match up with 8. And 8 doesn't match up with it. So I need to match up with 8. Okay, so I can fix 8. Okay, back to the work. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so go down, long, 2, 5, 6. Then we go up here, and so 6 should get us to 8. There we go. 8 gets us to the center, and then 6 will get us to 7, and then 7 gets us into the castle, which I haven't done yet. And so, yeah, that's the maze sorted out. So we should be able to traverse the maze completely now. So if I go up to here, this should get us in there. That's right. Oh, I've missed something out here. So room 8 doesn't have all the collisions. So we fix all the collisions for room 8. Okay. And then we go down to here. That's right. Okay, that's good. There we go, and that should stop. It should break at this point. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Okay, so 8 doesn't have all the collisions. I can fix that. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I've got this barrier here because when we go to this screen here, we need to have a barrier up here, and also when we go to this screen here, we need a barrier here. So I'm going to create this object here, which has a pickup in here, and I'm going to drag and drop that barrier. Actually, I need to create barrier. Just to keep it consistent, I'm going to drag and drop that into here. So now we have a barrier key prefab. And now I'm going to drag this out to the list of objects. So in our room, where are we? We've got room 4. Okay, so room 4 has to have an object now. which is here. So room 4. Also, I gave all the rooms IDs. It's only so that I can mark them off as being done. They don't actually get used for anything. So I need the object here. So I'm going to go and grab something with an object in it. So there's my objects. I'm going to go grab that, and then I'm going to go back up to ID 4. 4444. ID 34. And I'm going to paste that in there. And this is going to be barrier. And the X and Y value is going to be 0 on the Y, and it's going to be way over here. So let's say it's going to be about here-ish, roughly there. So 17. Okay, so that's good. So that would be 17, and that would be 0. Okay, and then we need to do the same thing. What did I just paste in there? That looks like it's wrong. Let me just grab that there. Oh, okay, because it's the end there. And then for room 2, I need to do the same thing as well. So room 2, ID 2, there we go. And we need a barrier, and then let's make that minus 17 because the rooms seem to be mirrored anyway. Okay, so we should have a barrier there. I'm going to move that barrier out there, out from the visual part, move it over to where everything else is. So if we go here, we've got a barrier, and you can see that we can't get beyond that barrier. And that barrier has to be full screen. So if I make this, where are we? Script renderer. Let's make that 500. So that will bring it out of the screen, and it should bring it on top of the environment. So we're down to here. Boom, there we go. And that bounces it out to there. That's good. And then it won't be in everything else. So you can see I've added the black key down here for the black castle, which is actually a blue castle. But it's not in room 2. So what room is it in then? Let's see what that is. Oh, because it's... Oh, right. So the objects can only be in one room at a time. So what I need to do is I need to create 2 barriers. Aha! Well, that's easy. So this one here, I'm going to drag this out to here. Keep dragging it. Keep dragging it, and I'm going to call this east barrier, or let's call it barrier. This will be barrier 4, and then I'm going to duplicate this. So that's that one there, and I'm going to call this one barrier 2. So now this is objects, so this is barrier 2, and then this is going to be barrier 4, because we can only have one object in a room, unfortunately. Oh, I need to drag that in there as well. So let's call that barrier 2, barrier 4. So all of these, you can see that, and let me zoom up a bit. So this is my little map that I've got so far over here. So this is the run I'm working on now. So this is room 2 here, and over here is room 4. So 2 and 4 have barriers on them, and that's the barriers that I'm working on just now. Okay, so I need to drag that one into here, into the objects that can be picked up. Now, the reason why this is working and it's placing these objects is because they have a pickup script on them. The reason why I can't pick them up is because I have them unmarked, so they don't have any tags on them, whereas all these other objects, you see that they all have a tag of pickup. So because these two don't have a pickup, you can't pick them up. So if we go down to here, so we have a barrier there, and then we should have a barrier on the other side as well. So that's good. So that sorts out the niggling part. So everything's finished as far as the rough mechanics. The pickup is still a bit weird. I still need to figure that out. Because when you pick up the chalice, it goes a bit strange. So if I go down here, pick up the key, and now I go to room 2, and then I head to the castle through the maze. Come on. And right up to here. Now I get the chalice, and this is where it goes a bit weird. So the chalice sometimes gets stuck, or you sometimes get stuck on the chalice. Sometimes you don't. And then the idea will be that when you come back up to here and you bring the chalice into this room, then you'll win the game. So that's the idea. So now that that's out the road, we can get back to episode 4. Okay, so I finished the basic game, and you've probably seen that in a couple of clips. So I've added these barriers here, and I also fixed an issue where the objects weren't appearing in the right room. So if you go down to here, for example, object ID, this is room ID 12. I created all these, I created this debug thing. It's also got the font that I liked as well. So everything's good so far. So all the maze works. You can effectively complete the game by picking up the chalice and then taking it to the yellow castle, which is this one here. And then when you get into here, we'll have an end game, which I don't actually have on my list. So if we go back to here, we need to have end game, get the chalice back to yellow castle. So this is the to-do list for today. I'm just going to add these. So we've got quite a bit to go through in this video. But I think we can do it. I don't think it'll take too long. So the first thing we need to do is we need to do this flash chat. I know it's not the first thing we need to do, but I'm going to move that to player as well, player metrics. In fact, I'm going to remove that there because we're not going to do that in this video. We may do a follow-up video. If you like these videos, if you like the adventure videos, let me know below and I can continue these. I want to move on to something else though, so this is just I'm just going to do the first game, the first level, first difficulty level. But I'm going to do a title and an end and all that kind of stuff. Oh, which reminds me I need to do that as well. So title screen, and we need end screen as well. Game over. So we need to do these as well today. I don't know why I just don't click that and then click edit labels. That's much easier. Oh yeah, put that one there, and then this one. See, I did that again. Force a habit. So we have quite a bit to do. I'm going to drag these up to here, just so that we know they're all grouped together. So this is all the things we need to do. So I'm going to start with the flash chalice code. And flashing the chalice should be relatively straightforward because we actually have all the colors here. The only one we don't want to flash to is element 6, but I think we can get away with that. So I'm going to create a script inside here. So we have pickups here. I'm going to create a chalice script. And the chalice script is going to flash once it opens. It's going to need to know the renderer, so I need to have public, what did I call it? What's that script called? Room renderer. And then this is going to be IEnumerator start, and then we're going to have a private int count, and while game object, well, I guess it's going to be active the whole time. I don't really need to do this, so let's just do true. Yield return new wait for seconds 0.1. So every 1/10 of a second we're going to change the color. So I'm going to say we need to grab the renderer. So I'm going to do var sprite renderer equals get component sprite renderer, and we're going to wait for that, and then we're going to increment count, and we're going to do count plus plus if count equals 6. I think it's 6. Yeah, equals 6. Count plus plus. So we want to ignore 6, and then we want to say count blap blap equals renderer dot colors dot length. So we want, this is going to clamp it between 0 and however many lengths of the colors there are. And then we're just going to set the color of the sprite renderer. So we're going to say sprite renderer dot color equals renderer dot room colors count. And that's it. That's all we're going to do there. And get rid of that one there. And we'll probably deal with update later. And we can get rid of that there. Okay. And we get rid of that comment as well. Okay. So that will flash the chalice. So if we go and click on chalice, and then I'm going to add, I'll just get these out of the road, add chalice, and then the renderer, I just drag and drop that into there. And then when we run it, we'll just go into the scene view and make sure that everything's okay. So we'll go to scene view, and we're at -50, I think. Yeah, here we go. So there's the chalice there, and it is currently flashing. So that is our flashing chalice, and we can prove it's in the game. So we can, we need the black key. So let's go to get the black key. Now the black key. It's here. The maze also is slightly different to the maze from the original game, because I didn't get it quite the same. But it's close enough. Like, it's got this long run here, and then we go to here, and then we have our chalice. And we can drag the chalice. Oh, get stuck on there. And then the idea will be that you get to whoa, well, this is wrong. This is definitely wrong. Oh dear. What? Well, I'm lost in my own maze. Okay. All right, anyway. That's scrubbed off the list, so we can move that to done. Okay. So the next thing is we want to do sounds for pick up and drop, sounds for hit dragon, sounds for kill dragon, all these kind of things, and then the end game. So sounds for pick up and drop. For that, I'm going to have to put on my headphones, and we're going to use a little program called SFXR, which I got when I was doing a Ludum Dare. There's a link on there to the tools. So I'm just going to grab my headphones just now, so I apologize for putting headphones on. Don't normally have them on, but I need to do it so I can hear it. So we need one for pick up and drop. So let's see what we've got here. That's quite nice. That's a coin. That's quite nice. Okay, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to export that as a wave. Yeah, starts with nothing. At some point, somebody's going to realize that the themes for Ludum Dare are garbage. They're so bad. Okay, so I want to save this to audio. So I'm going to create a new folder here called audio. And I'll call this pickup. And then I need one for drop. Yeah, it sounds suitably. I kind of want a down one. So I'm going to call this one drop. And what else do I need to do? I need one for the dragon and so on, but we can do that at a later time. So I can take this off now. Well, I can take it off for just now. And then when we code it, we need to do something else. So in our code, we have game controller. And in game controller, we have, somewhere in here, we have item dropped and gate opened. So we should probably have one where there's an item picked up. So I'm pretty sure we have a pickup here, pick up new item. So we can pick up something here. So we don't want to drop I don't mind it. That's okay. Well, we may get two sounds together, but we do need a pickup. So, so item dropped event handler. We also need an item picked up event handler. So we have public event item dropped event handler item picked up. And here we're going to say item picked up dot invoke this comma new item blah 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 current item. So we've picked something up. So we need to react to that. And the way we'll do that is I'm going to create another where are we? Scripts environment. Where's game object? Is it in general? Yeah, here's game controller. So let's have an audio controller. Okay, and I'm just going to put that in the same one as here. And then I'm going to have a private audio controller audio. And then inside awake, I'll say audio equals get component audio controller. So we have our item drop there, but we also need one for item pickup. So player get component inventory dot item picked up plus equals, and then this one here, the plus equals. So an event, when you call a function, so I've been asked a couple of times about this. When you call a function, you're calling a particular class and a particular function. Now, if you want multiple, so the best thing to do is look up the observer pattern in Wikipedia, and it'll explain this a little bit better. But essentially, if you have an action, so you want to perform some kind of action, you may have multiple things that are interested in that action. So what you do is you set up what's called a multicast delegate. And a multicast delegate in C# is an event. So an event is basically a list of functions that get called when you call this function. So when you call, or rather when you call this class, so when you call item dropped, that has an internal list of functions that are all over the place in different classes. And this class here doesn't know who's subscribing to it, or who's subscribed to it. Sorry, it doesn't care who's subscribed to it. All it knows is that it's going to call a particular method, and that particular method is going to have this signature here. So this signature says, okay, I have this method signature that takes in an object, and it takes in an item dropped event args. So long as I have a function on the other end of this that I can subscribe to, I can just add it to the list of things that I want to trigger. So that's why I'm doing this here. I could do this multiple times. I'm not going to do it multiple times for these. I just need to call the audio thing. But that's what this plus equals does, is it says add another listener, another function to call when this method gets called. So it allows one function to call many functions. That's really what a multicast delegate is for. Okay. So in this case, I'm using an anonymous function. So an anonymous function means that I don't need to define it down here. Like, these are all functions, and these are not anonymous functions. These are all named functions. So this function name is start. This one here is place objects. This one up here doesn't have a name. It's just an anonymous function, but it gets called. You're creating that function, you're adding it to this list. So this function will get called. And then for this one, we're going to do audio.play pickup. Now we don't have that function yet, but we will have it soon. And then this one here is audio play drop. Okay. And then in our audio controller, we're going to do a control period, and then we're going to tap that there, and then we do control period, and we're going to hit return, and then that's even easier. So now we have these two functions. When we go to these functions, we press F12, and that takes us to play drop. So we're going to take these out here, and then we're going to have, we don't need these, we do need public audio clip play, this will be pickup audio clip drop, and we're going to have public audio source, and then we're going to say source play one shot drop, and then we're going to do the exact same thing but for pickup. So again, just to reiterate, if I go to inventory, inventory does not know about audio. It doesn't need to know about audio, and this means that you can use this class anywhere you want. There's no link to any external classes. The only thing that links it to external classes are these two events, and those two events can be subscribed by anybody who provides this function signature. And of course, the function signature again is object and these event args, and that's it. That's all you need to subscribe to get to this. But this does not know about anything else inside the game. It doesn't know about a game controller. It doesn't know about anything of these things. It just allows us to do events or have these events. Okay, so we go back to game controller here, and down here I have my audio controller, and then I'm going to go to my audio files, and I'm going to drag in drop, and I'm going to drag in pickup, and then my audio should be on the camera. Audio listener, audio source. No, I don't have an audio source. Let me add one. Source. Okay. And that will add my audio source. I'm not gonna add a mixer just yet. I'm not sure we need it. Okay, let's see if we can pick this up. So, no. Audio source has not been defined. Ah, right, okay. So if I go to here, we've got audio source. If I just drag and drop that onto there, I mean, what I could have done was I could have had that, I could have done it as an internal call to get component, like I've done before, but sometimes it's easier just dragging and dropping these things in. You might want to change it up, you might want to do something different. Okay, so this should ping now. If I go and grab these. There we go. And if I go and grab the sword, well, that is not good. That was quite the cacophony. We still have some issues with our pickup code. I wonder why that is. I don't want to spend too much on this. Okay. What? What? Well, that was weird. So we still have an issue with our pickup code. Okay, we'll get to that. So we need to do fix pickup code. And then we'll edit label, add that to there. Okay. Okay, so signs for pickup and drop. Let's drag that to done. Let's drag done over here so we don't need to keep dragging done everywhere. And then we have signs for pickup and drop. Okay. And then we need an end game as well. So get the chalice back to the yellow castle. So we need a special case. So I'm going to add, what do we need to add in here? So when you get back to the castle, how are we going to handle this? I mean, we could just have just a big trigger volume, or if you've entered that room, well, what room is it? It is room number, if we're going back to here, where are we? Okay, so it is that room there. You can see that room right there. So that is room number 1. So we can put a special condition in there that when you enter room 1 and you have the chalice, then you won the game. So how do we know if you won the chalice? So inventory is there. So we know that you've picked up an item. So let's do, so when you pick up an item, we know what you've got. So let's go to our game controller, and then we'll say private string current item, and then in current item we can say current item equals that, because we're not carrying anything. And then in this one here we can say current item equals e.pickup.key, I think it is, key name. So that's going to tell us the key name. And then when we get to our change room, let me get this here. So we get change room is all of this, and then room changed, who uses that? This is used by screen ID. Okay, so this is only used by the debug code, which I can get rid of that there. Okay, so maybe what I want to do is I also want to have, is this public? Yeah, it is public. So maybe what I want to do is I want to check the end game. And maybe I do that in another object. In fact, let me do that in another object. So I'm going to create UI text mesh pro, and that should create, I don't know, I want it to be a separate canvas. Delete. Duplicate that, and then let's call this success, and okay, laying it on a bit thick there, but that's okay. And we'll put it there. Just make sure I've spelled congratulations correctly instead of Atari, which apparently I can't spell. Yeah, I noticed that just now. There's Atara Venture. Okay. I don't know why, but there you go. Okay, so we have our congratulations there. I kind of want to make that white, but I think if I make it white, then everything else goes white. So I think I need a different material for that. Yeah, here's the material here. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Alright, so that's going to look like this. So we obviously don't want to show that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, let me add a canvas group. And the canvas group, I'm just going to scale to 0, or set the alpha to 0, and then I'm going to fade it in like that. And I'm going to create another controller here, which is going to be in general, and then this is going to be create success script, or success okay, win condition. And win condition is going to go on here, and it's going to need a couple of things. So I need to have public game controller, public locomotion, and I'm going to have a point awake, room changed, I do not like it about that. Room changed. Oh, right. Because I'm an idiot, that's why. All right. And then what I want to do in here is I want to check the current room, and I want to check what the player is holding. So I need to have public string current item. And so I want to say if gameController.room index equals 1 and gameController.current item equals, and then I'm gonna say I'm gonna make this a property rather than, or a field, rather than hard coding it, just in case. So I'm gonna say required object to do fade up. So a public string required object equals chalice. So I'm going to hard code it to I'm going to hard code it in here to chalice, but you're free to change it in the inspector because it's public. And then the fade up is going to be gameController.gameOver locomotion.gameOver. And then I'm going to create these two methods. And then it's going to be start coroutine fade up sign. And then I'm going to have enumerator fade up sign. And then I'm going to last it for 2 seconds. So I'm going to say float time equals that while time is less than 1. Yield return null. In fact, this is going to be alpha. There's no point in having anything else there. And then I'm going to say public canvas group. So this is our text that we're going to fade up. So group.alpha equals alpha, alpha plus equals time.delta time divided by 2, because we want it to be every 2 seconds. And then eventually we're just going to say alpha. Oops. What is going on? Group alpha equals 1. Get rid of that. And that's going to be our win condition. So in our win condition, once this compiles, no, does not like it. I do wish that Visual Studio would know where you've got all your functions and just put them all there. That would be nice. Instead, it just dumps it at the most, what it thinks obvious split. Like, it seems to do it okay sometimes, just not all the time. So I don't know what's going on here. So for our update here, we're going to say game over equals true. And then we're going to say if game over, return. And we're going to have private len game over equals false. I mean, we don't need the false, really, because it sets it to false by default, but we'll set it to that. That's fine. Okay, what is it complaining about? Okay, there you go. That's fine. So everything is done there. Game controller. Okay, so I need a game controller over here. I need the player, which is this guy. And then I need the group, which is this guy. Okay, so let's go play through this, and hopefully we'll have a win condition. Okay, we'll grab this. Okay, we don't need the sword. We do need this. I really need to fix that. We need a debounce on it, maybe. Through here. Through the cave. No. Oh dear. Oh, that's a bug. I didn't see that. Okay, so we don't need that anyway. Oh no, well, we do need that. We need to open it. Okay. Right, we've opened it. And need to get the key. And a debounce. Where is it? Oh yeah, up here. Down, 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 up, up. That's weird. Why that keeps sticking. There we go. And there's here. Oh, is it here? Yeah. Okay, and then here. Here. There we go. I remembered. Okay. And up to here, and then up to here, and then. Oh, because I still have that script on there, but it worked. So that's good. Okay, that's fine. So I just need to take this. There's a script on here, screen ID, remove component, and then that will render it properly. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. So I'm going to go and test this out just now by doing this. Boom. There it is. And then I'm going to go over to assets and I'm going to go and grab the chalice like that. I'm just going to drag it onto the screen, back to the game. Oh dear. Sorry. Right, there we go. And we go back up to here. It should say, well done, you did it, congratulations. All right, okay. So let me get rid of that debug there. I'll get rid of that. Okay, that's good. Okay, sweet. Okay, so now we've done endgame, get the chalice back to Yellow Castle. What? There we go. All right, cool. So we need to fix the pickup code. We need to do the AI for the dragon. I also have to do the sprites for the dragon. So I'm going to go and do that just now, and it will be instant to you. Okay, now that I have those sprites, I can go to the art, and I have our sprites here. And change that to 8, because remember we're 8 pixels. We are 8 pixels, I think, aren't we? Let me just check. Revert. Yeah, we're 8. So we're 8 pixels. It is multiple, and that's fine. We don't want any filtering, and I'm going to click on apply, and sprite editor, and then we're going to slice it by cell count. So there are 3 columns in 1 row, slice. So then we have these images here. So click on apply. Okay. So our dragon Let's have an empty object here. So I'm going to call this dragon, and then I'm going to drag and drop these two sprites here onto the playfield, and then this will create an animation for us. So inside art, I'm going to create a new folder here, new folder, and it's going to be called animations. And then inside animations, I'm going to call this one dragon. And then this will create a dragon. So when we play the game, we'll see that the dragon is moving between those two frames. I mean, we would if we could actually see it. So let's move it to there, so we'll be able to see the dragon. It's probably a bit too fast. So what I'm going to do is I can click on here and then go to dragon, and then change that from 12 to 6, and that should slow it down by half, which looks about right. We could probably get away with 4 actually. So now we're like a third of the speed, so it should be like, okay, that looks good. That looks good. So this is going to be our dragon sprite. And then I'm going to copy component and paste component values. So now dragon and dragon sprite occupy the same thing. So when I drag the dragon sprite onto dragon, that should be those values, and then that should be at 0, 0, 0, which is the local value. So the sprite is just going to be just a normal sprite, but I also want to have a dead sprite as well. So the dead sprite, where's my art? Art. So my dead sprite is going to be this one here. So I'm going to drag that onto dragon as well, and then all I need to do is just 0 it, and it occupies the same space. Now this is going to be call this dead state, and I'm going to turn it off for just now. And so the reason why I'm doing this hierarchy is just to make it a little bit easier. I don't like the way that the Atari Adventure game works is that it's either moving or it's dead. That's it. There's no half measures. There's no like and then it kind of like dies on you. It's alive and then it's dead. So it's very fatalistic. I don't know what you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. Anyhow, I'm going to create a dragon object here. So I'm going to go back to my scripts here, and then I'm going to create a folder here called AI, and I'm going to create a script called dragon. Here we go. And once again, I'm going to drag that. I'm going to drag that once it compiles. I'm going to drag that onto our dragon. And then our dragon is only going to have 2 states, really. It's either going to be alive. Well, actually, it's going to have a couple of states. It's going to have sitting and wait. It's going to have chasing player and dead. So it's going to have 3 states. So if I go to here and go to dragon, I need a couple of objects here. So public game object, animation or alive, public game object dead, and then I'm going to have private is alive. So it starts off alive. I also need public int initial or current room. So there is no current room for the dragon. And I also need public color. Okay. Awake. So I'm going to say alive. Oops. Get component sprite renderer color equals color. Dead dot get component. Oh dear. Let me just go grab that there and paste that in there. That way safe. And so that's going to set our initial state for the dragon. We don't need an update because we're actually going to do an well, let's hold off on that. Let's just think about that for a sec. Okay, so let's hide that from inspector because we don't want that exposed. We want it exposed as far as the game's concerned, but we don't want it exposed as far as the design is expected to be. So for our dragon, this is going to be our prefab. So I'm going to drag that into our prefabs. Drag that into the prefabs. And the first dragon that we create is the green dragon, which is in room. It's actually in this room here. I don't know if you can see that. That is this is a super secret room. That is room 12 in the easy mode. And we need to add it to our resources. So if I go to resources and I click in show in Explorer, and then I go and grab normal and then open that with Sublime, this is our neat looking JSON file. So if I go to room 12, I need to add a dragons thing in here. So so that's the black key is in there, but I'm also going to add dragon as well. So I'm going to say dragons. Let's call it dragons because it's actually a little bit easier to do. So dragons, and then I want to have name yellow, and that's it. That's all I want to do. I just want to have a named dragon in there so that we can place it in our game. And then for our game AI, what we need to do is let's have a script here called dragon, or let's call it AI controller. So AI controller, I'm just going to, once it compiles, there you go, it's compiled. I'm going to drag that onto here. And then for dragon, I'm going to create these separate ones here. So this is going to be the yellow dragon. Oh, we need a name for that as well. Public string name. Come on. So we need to name that. So we'll call that one yellow. And then we'll have a green one. And then we'll have another one, but we'll not bother that one just now. So I'm going to call this one green dragon. Yellow dragon. And these dragons can move. They can move way over to here as well. Okay. So the yellow dragon, the color of that dragon is going to be yellow. And then the green dragon is, strangely enough, going to be a kind of green color, which is going to be that green there. Okay. So again, we run the game. It's not going to change anything, but when we go into the scene mode, oh, we have our two dragons there, so that's good. But we also have this here. Right, okay, we need to have alive and dead, okay. So let me go to the prefab to get this change for all of them. So we have prefabs, dragon, so we need a live object, so we have dragon sprite, which is our alive state, and then we have dead state, which is that one there. Okay, so let's go back into the game. All right, so there is our green dragon. Where's our yellow dragon? Our yellow dragon, that does not seem to be right. Our yellow dragon has that orange, what? That should be that, and then the green dragon should have that. Okay. What? Is this not serializing? I mean, I thought it would serialize. Let me try that again. So this is the green dragon, green, and this is the yellow dragon. Wait, what? I'm so confused right now. What is going on? So there's the yellow dragon, and here's the green dragon. Okay. So yellow dragon, green dragon. Okay. And then the dragon sprite shouldn't do anything. I know why. Because... no, that doesn't make any sense. There we go. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what went wrong there. Maybe I was changing too many things at the same time. I think also serializing the field didn't work, or did work, I should say. So we've got a green dragon there and a yellow dragon. It's good. The yellow's probably a bit too yellowy, but we can mute that. We can go to yellow and then change that to kind of more mute color. Like that one. Is that more mute? That's more mute. Okay, that's kind of more mute. All right. So we need to place that inside the world. So in our environment script here, we have our data. So we need to have a class here called dragon data, which is no reference whatsoever to the computer of the same name, or the company of the same name. String name. Serializable. There you go. And that's all we need for that class. So dragon data is that. And then the room data, not room data, map room data, that's the one there. And we need public dragon, which is an array of dragon. In fact, it should be dragons. Is that right? Dragons, yeah. And then inside game controller, okay, now for game controller, I already have a link to audio controller. I think it's okay to have a link to the AI controller. So I'm going to do public, private AI controller, AI, and then we'll do AI.getComponent, AI controller. And then when the game is loaded, we need to know the initial setups. So, place objects. So let's have place objects, and then let's have place dragons. Current level rooms, okay. So let's just have AI.place dragons. Let's do that. And then let's have a method on here. Room in rooms. If room dot dragons is not equal to null, and room dot dragons dot length is greater than 0. So if we have a dragon, we want to place those dragons. So we need to have public dragon dragons, and then we're going to have private dragon map equals new map. So the map is going to be our internal representation, and then inside awake, we're going to have for each var dragon in dragons map dragon dot name equals dragon. So each one of these is going to be represented by name, and then inside our place dragons, we are going to place those dragons in their initial rooms. So we're going to say var room index equals 0, room index plus plus. So in this one, we're going to say room dot for each dragon in room dot dragons. Never thought I'd write this code. Dragon dot why is that not coming up with anything? Dragon data. Let's make it public, shall we? And then let's do map dragon dot name dot current room equals room index. So that will place the dragon in the correct room. Okay. All right, let's get rid of that and get rid of that. So for our AI controller, which we have over here, we have a list of dragons. So again, I'm going to drag and drop our list over here and our list of dragons there. So our dragon, I can turn on debug here. So if I turn on debug, you'll see that we actually have access to alive, dead, and we should have access to the current room when we run it, I think. No. I thought we could do that. Well, we've got a problem here anyway. AI get AI component. Okay, why? Oh, right. Okay, that's why. AI equals get component. Haha. Okay. No. Place dragons. I didn't like that. See, so we've got yellow, and then for dragon, I have yellow. Okay. Right. Let's put a breakpoint here. Attach it to Unity. And we'll run this again. So we have two dragons. Set a breakpoint there. Okay. Dragon name yellow. Oh, wait. Dragon map. Well, that's not good. The key is green dragon because it's the name. No. Because I'm an idiot. Okay. So it's public string name. Okay. There we go. So I was using the name that is in the scene, but I don't want the name that's in the scene. I want the name that is in that we specify that's going to be in our map file. Okay, so there's no errors there. So we just need to make sure that when we go to here, boom, we should have a dragon round about here. So we also need initial placement as well. So we also have to have position x minus 13, y, let's make that minus 2. So we need a position in there as well. Where are we? Dragon data. So we need public vector 2 position. And miraculously, the nice thing about all of this is, no, not system numerics. Unity engine. Okay, all of this just works when you do this. So it's serializable. The JSON just takes over and goes, oh, there's that position thing that you were talking about. So inside our AI controller, we actually need a bit more information than we have here. So I'm going to create another file here. And what am I going to call this? I think I'm going to call this dragon placement. Dragon placement. And that is going to have public vector 2 position. I mean, I don't really need the underscore because it's kind of public, but never mind. public dragon. What else do I need in here? Should I put the room? Yeah, let me put the room. Public initial room. So if we set initial room to like -1, then that means it's on the loose. Otherwise, it's going to be set to a particular value. So that's going to be dragon placement. And this is going to be dragon placement as well. So I'm going to move this to that line there so you can see everything on screen. And then for this one, I'm going to say new dragon placement. Dragon equals dragon. Initial room equals -1. Position equals dragon dot vector to 0. So that will set those values there. And then for this one, I'm going to set that to be initial room equals that. Dragon. Dragon equals dragon, yep. Dragon equals that. Map. Dragon name. Position equals dragon dot position. Okay. So I'll place that dragon in the particular room at a particular position. And we don't need the update just yet. Come back to that. So now we have our place dragon set up. We need to describe the dragons. So public what if we have the does the AI controller need to know about the game controller? This is where it gets a bit messy. I think it might need to know that because we need to know about room change. So I'm going to say, we know that this is a bit hacky, but we know that AI controller sits on the same game object as game controller. Get component game controller room changed plus equals room changed. So in this case, I'm going to create a function because I don't want it inside the awake. I mean, I could have it inside the awake, but I'm going to create a function here, or a method, I should say, and it's going to check the room changed part of it. So I need to know the object sender. So the object sender is going to be the game controller. Sender as game controller. So that is going to give me access to the controller. And I want to find any dragons. I want to find inside this list of dragons if any of them have a current room of that, and if they do, I want to set them to that. And then I also want to set the position to be, I want to set them to be active. So I want to say get the dragons that are in the current room, set them to be active, set the index of the current room to be -1. So var dragons equals map dot values dot select, and I'm going to add a link here, and then it's going to be the placement. So placement dot initial room equals, we're going away over the side here. Let me just bring that down here. var room ID equals controller dot room index. Initial room equals room ID. Dot to list. So that is going to create a whole bunch of, that's going to give me a list of dragons. So now what I want to do is I want to say for each var placement in dragons, placement dot that's going to be where is going to get me that. Okay, so that should be giving me a list of dragons. Okay, dragon placement, where placement dot initial, oops, don't reset the position of the dragon. So the reason why we're setting it to -1 is because we don't want to reset the position of the dragon. And then make sure I'm recording there. And then, not the first time I've done that, I had to undo everything and redo it. Okay, and then we want to set the position of the dragon. So we want to say placement dot dragon dot transform dot position equals placement dot position. So whatever the placement is, we want to place it there. Then we want to set it to be active. So we're going to say placement dot dragon dot start chase. So again, we don't have a start chase, but we're going to create one just now. And then we're just going to do print starting the chase. Okay. And I think that's everything there. So this is going to go grab the index. I'm using link, so this is just a nice handy function that says, okay, get me all the values where this is true. So the initial room is set to be that, and then run it back as a list. And then for each item in the list, set this to here. And what I mean, I could have probably done something else linky in here, but this is good enough. And that should be that. So we should be able to see the yellow dragon when we go into room 12. As long as I've set this into room 12, yeah, I've set this into room 12. So we go to room 12 now, we should see him. So, and here, there's the yellow dragon. So the yellow dragon is got the key. Now we need to move them with the player. Now, he's always going to be there because we've set him to be that position on the screen. Remember that when we change scenes, we're just deleting the blocks and then resetting the player's position. So that's why this little fella keeps appearing in the screen there. Okay, but it's good the fact that the first time he appeared was only inside that room. So that's a good thing. So let's see if we can get rid of some of the tasks that we have in here. Okay. See if we can score some of these off here. Title screen. Oh, we've got initial dragon placement. Boom. We can get rid of that. Let me drag that over there. Title screen, end screen, fix pickup code. Okay. We still have all of this to do. Oh dear. What are we up to just now? 37 minutes. 37 minutes in this video. God knows what the other one was. Okay. Maybe I'll split this into multiple videos. This might be not a good idea. Okay. Let's get the thing moving. So maybe we need to know where the player has moved to as well. So we've got a room change there. We've got place dragons there. Maybe the dragon needs to know where the player has moved to. So we know the player has moved rooms, but do we know the direction the player has moved though? I guess we do. So if we go to game controller, changed room is this one here, and this is used. Okay, so we do know. So game controller, north, south, east, west. Okay, so that's good. So basically what we need to do is we need to reset the dragon when the player moves, because they have to be below. Like when you move north, they've got to be below the player, and when you move east, they've got to be behind the player. So we just need to move them according to where they've gone. So handle player leaves playfield. All right, okay. So let me do that then. Let's have another one in here. So this is in our general. So inside general, let's have add class, and this is going to be playfield departure, playfield bounds event handler. Naming is difficult. Public delegate void object sender args. Public class event args, and then for the event args, what have we got here? We've got direction. Okay, so we need to have public direction get public play. Oh dear, can I not spell at all? Oof. Whoa. Let me just rename that. There we go. Okay, so that's that renamed. Playfield event args direction. Okay, And then inside here, we're going to do, oh dear, not there. Public event. Player left screen. Sure. This is good a name as any. Invoke this new player me.direction. Player left the screen event arcs? What? Playfield bounds event arcs? What? Okay. I must be losing my mind here. Let's see if it compiles. It seems to like it. That's good. Okay, so player left screen, that's got to be on the dragon, I guess. So what we need to do is we need to set that up. So the way we can do that is we can pass in the game controller here. Controller, to do set state, game controller dot room, no, player left screen plus equals OE. So we'll handle player leaving the screen. So player leaving the screen. So we need to put it into chase mode. Okay. So chase mode. We'll figure that out in a minute. Okay, we need a void awake, void update. And then we'll have a private enum here. So we'll have enum. So this is going to be our state machine. Not going to be a great state machine. Enum dragon state. And then dragon state is going to be waiting, chasing, dead. That's it. So all you're going to have is waiting, chasing, dead. And then we're going to have private dragon state equals dragon state dot waiting. Okay. And then start chase, we say state equals chasing. Switch dragon state case chasing break case dead. So we just want to do the initial dead. So we'll say is alive equals false. Alive dot set active false. Alive dead dot set active true. break. And then we'll say if not is alive, return. So we don't want to do any updates after that. And the same thing with start chase as well. So we want to say if not is alive, return. So if the dragon's dead, we don't want to do anything if they start the chase, because it makes no sense. So that's just a kind of boilerplate, well, a kind of precautionary idea than anything else. And then this one here is just our game state. So the only states we're interested in is chasing and dead. So if the dragon is dead, then we set them to is alive is false. And then we just toggle the state of the actual dragon itself. So we turn off the active sprite and we give it the dead sprite. Get rid of system as well. And that is it. Okay. So our update is going to be, we need a speed as well. So public float speed is going to be in units per second. So let's say it's going to be 8 units per second. Sure. Whatever that is. So for the chasing, the target is the player. So I guess we need to know the player as well. I think we know the player from here. Target equals game controller dot player. Okay. So then we need a private transform target. And so if is not equal to null, we're going to do var pause equals math, or it'd be vector3 lerp, and then it's going to be the current position. So this is going to be transform.position to the target, and then it's whatever the time is, delta time. Transform.position equals pause. I'm not going to add speed just now. So for chasing, that's that there. Okay. Start chase already. I'm going to put this as controller. Okay. I mean, what we could do is we could also pass in, if we want to make this completely separated out, we could pass in the target as well. But yeah, I'll just leave it as that. So when we enter that room now, this dragon should start chasing us. There we go. Boom. So we roll. There we go. But when they leave, we need to move the target. We need to move them further down. So the height of a screen, so this is 0, 0, 0, where the camera is. So the camera is dead centered, well, sort of dead centered to the screen. And then the player, where's the player? Player's there. So if I move the player up to here, so the extreme of this screen, If I turn off the debug mode, that would be 10. So let's say it's 10. So the extreme is 10. Oh dear. Okay, so 10. 10.7. Okay, so 10.7. Let's take a wee note of that. 10.7 on the top. And then over here, on the x-axis, it is 19.5. Okay, here's what we're going to do. When the player leaves the screen, we're going to move the dragon down or left or whatever it is, a certain amount. And then that means that the dragon is going to be on the previous screen. So it should work pretty well. And I think this is how the original code works. Or at least that's kind of how it feels like it works. So I'm going to say switch e.direction case east case west case north, oops, case south. So if they're traveling, if the player is moving east, we need to move the dragon negative on the x. So I'm going to say transform.position plus equals new vector 2, and it's going to be minus 19.50. And then it's going to be the opposite for the west. There you go. And it's going to be opposite for the west, so it's going to be, if you're traveling west, we want to move them that way. And then for the north, we're going to say transform.position plus equals new vector 3, negative 10.7 on the y though. And then for the south, it's the exact same thing, but in the opposite direction. So now our dragon will chase us throughout the game. Oh. Helps if I move the player down to here. Change that to 0. Okay. Okay, so we go down here. We kick off there. Oh, there we go. No, that didn't quite work. I got it the wrong way around. Oh, it's got to be twice that, hasn't it? Wait. It's got to be times 2. Because that's only half height. So we need to make it times 2 so that it's the full width of the screen. Because if they're over here, they move into the next screen, we need to move the dragon that way because it's 2 full screens over. Okay. Oh, I don't know why it's starting there. Oh, there we go. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Chasing dragons. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Oh, that looks really good as well. So when he goes up to there, it's like he's coming down there. There you go. Perfect. See if we can put him back in his house. Right, so again, we need to change the dragon's got to float against everything. So let me just change that as well while we're here. So go to here and click that. So the dragon sprite, we need to make that 500. And for this one, we'll make that 500 as well. The reason why we're doing that is so that it floats, the dragon floats on top of the walls, because they've got to like climb over the walls. That's the kind of idea behind it. I don't like though that he starts off, he should start off here. So I don't know what I've changed that's different, but he should. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, that actually didn't take as long as I thought. I thought we were going to end up with a lot of pain points there, but this has actually gone quite smoothly for once. So that's kind of good. Nom 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 nom. And you're dead. Okay. Right. And screen pick up there. So we're still kind of working on the yellow dragon controller. I mean, I guess we're kind of done with the dragon controller. We just need to. We're not quite done with the dragon controller. With the best will in the world, I tried to do this in 4 videos. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to split it into the 5th and final video will be out at the same time as this one, or at least within a couple hours of it anyway. But yeah, that's I'm gonna call it quits just now. But thank you very much for watching, and I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. Please let me know in the comments below. And the show notes are also in the description below as well. So if you want to get the repo or whatever, the links are down there as well. If you want to subscribe to get timely reminders, you need to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and all the other hoops that YouTube wants you to jump through. But anyway, I know everyone's time's valuable, and I appreciate that you stopped by and watched this this old developer coding away. So until the next time, I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.